Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hoon Dok Hae, together with Reverend Yutaki Amada. And today is Thursday, the 7th of April, or the 7th of March, in the 10th year of Chongal. Let's begin by offering a bow to our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Kyombe, Paro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가족면세 4. 전일국 주인 우리 가족은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 찬조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Chongal Dok, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. Yeah, just join me. I'll offer the opening prayer. Our most beloved Heavenly Parent and True Parents, we're gathered together for our Hoon Dok Hae to offer you our devotion and heart. We want to truly support our true mother and to invest ourselves 100% to really establish an environment that we can share with others to really advance the establishment of Chongal Dok. And we know that the only way to do this is to help everyone understand about you, our Heavenly Parent, that you are a living, loving God that is embracing everyone every day, and that you are relying upon people recognizing the true parents, that we can help everyone recognize the value of the true parents, how they come to represent truly the restored Adam and Eve, truly the victorious parents that are on God's side and have fulfilled God's plan and desire, and have reached the point where they can help others enter into your lineage, and that through the blessing, helping people understand and recognize the value of the blessing, that it really is the turning point in history. It really is the point where we can separate from Satan once and for all and really become part of your family. So we ask that we can understand your heart as we listen to your words, that we determine ourselves. Every day we need to redetermine ourselves, just as the sun comes up and fills the world with light. Every day we need to start anew and to fill the world with the truth about you, our Heavenly Parent, and our true parents, and the blessing. So we ask that you can be here with us, as we know you are, and that we have open hearts and open minds to really receive and also to give. So thank you for your guidance, and we offer you this in our collective names and in our names, John and Shizzer and Lisa Blessed Central Family. Thank you. So let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares this morning. So thank you.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Thank you for joining today's morning Hoon Dok Hae. Today is also a beautiful day. Let's have a great time and sincere heart to our Heavenly Parents and to parents. So thank you very much. So now we are doing the morning devotion and gathering every day. We are really welcome for your feedback or your sharing or your opinion. So then we can develop together. So yesterday also I received some message. So for example, my speaking before reading the Hoon Dok word is a little bit long, and also too much talking and too much explanation about the words we read is distracting from taking in the spiritual food. Yeah, I think, that some part is true, because if there is Sunday testimony or after unseal, usually I'm repeating, or if I visit some Adelaide or national activity, maybe too much some reporting contents. And also maybe I'm explaining about Christian providence through PCLC. So I think maybe a little bit I have to adjust the time or cut the contents. And if we can put more centering God's word, then maybe I think this is good. So we are welcoming always your feedback, some really improving point, or even not only improving point. If you can feel some good point, also you can share to us. Then really we are so much inspired. So every time really together with Reverend John, we are preparing, but we are wondering, this is really good for everyone, or still not enough, or what is more better method, or how to inspire together. So even I'm also preparing, but I'm also feel still not enough. How really can prepare more? So your feedback or sharing is really great. So this morning gathering, I believe this is really precious for everyone. I receive, because morning is really good gathering. They are inspired to meet each other. That's why I'm really appreciate, and really we want to create the beautiful place. So several feedback we are receiving. For example, after Hoon Dok Word, we have a sharing session. So in order for many people to share, maybe one person better to speak around 3 to 5 minutes. So those kind of feedback we receive. But in the same time, because we are already adult, no need to decide the time, 3 to 5. All people know how to manage the time. So better not decide the time, just it's up to them. So those comment. Or some people say breakout session is really inspired, because we can meet another blessed families to talk and share together. That's why if we can do every day breakout session, this is really good. But another opinion say, better not to do breakout session so much. Opening session is good, because individual communication, personal communication is possible even after Hoon Dok Hae, not in the Hoon Dok Hae time. So anyway, we are receiving the many comments. This is really good, because we want to make together, not somebody just decide and give one way, and really welcome and develop together. Then our community become really family community, and we can create this beautiful community together. So each person have a different thinking, maybe different expectation, and different also hope. So through try and error, we really can create the community which heaven is wishing, and we can create one Oceania beautiful families. So we will continue to offer the Johnson condition or this gathering. And also, if you give a comment or feedback, I'm not sure we can apply immediately, but depends on the situation, we will discuss and we will put together. That's why please all the time, without hesitation, share your comment or feedback to me or Reverend John or some national leader or anyone is okay. Then we can create a beautiful place. So anyway, thank you for your gathering or sharing always. Today also, we will start the Hoon Dok Hae. So global unity through true parents. So yesterday, Mother is talking about some beauty of the nature. So monarch butterfly, we talked yesterday, right? So I prepared a photo. So this is the monarch butterfly. Have you seen this one? So this butterfly fly from North America to South America, around 3,500 kilometers or even 5 5,000 kilometers. This butterfly move from north and south. And I researched that when they move from north to south, they will go by one generation. But when they go from south to north, this takes 3 to 4 generations. So yesterday in the breakout session, we are discussing about this. So this monarch butterfly is giving the hope or wish to next generation or even to the offspring. So how much this is great. And also someone said maybe angel is guiding this butterfly. So yeah, this is really great. So when we see the nature, this is really amazing. Beyond the generation, they are fulfilling the missions. If parents could not fulfill, then children will inheriting and fulfill their mission or their visions. That's why when we see this nature, even monarch butterfly, we can say this monarch butterfly is really filial son and filial daughters. They don't think their hometown. They don't return back their life. Just they wish, just they follow whatever parents say, whatever God is guiding to them. That's why this story of monarch butterfly, this is really great story. I'm not sure our children, they are 100% follow to parents' will or wish without their thinking or not. And ourselves also same. Are we following parents' wish 100% without my thinking or my concept or not? That's why through the nature, God is showing already what is really filial son and filial daughter. So I believe this mother is sharing this great point of the nature. So really great. And one more thing is this long-billed crow. So this bird also mother is sharing that. So from Alaska or Siberia to Australia, just this bird fly from that area to Australia or New Zealand area. It takes just 10 days. So during 10 days time, they are not sleeping. They are going without eating and without sleeping and without resting. So can you see these two lines? Blue line is from north and south. So that time they don't sleep, they don't take a rest, anything, just one shot for 10 days. So they move like this. That's why after they arrive to Australia or New Zealand area, their weight reduce almost half. So that much, they just one shot to move that place. I'm not sure how really could they fulfill. Maybe someone die on the middle of the flying or not. Maybe face to the typhoon or face to some challenging situation. But this one just move one shot 10 days without sleeping and without eating. And going back time, they will go through Asian route. That's why maybe they stay some nation or somewhere. That's why mother said, have we ever strenuously made effort like this bird for 10 days without eating or sleeping for the sake of restoring our neighbors, our tribe on our nation? That's why mother is sharing that. Even nature, even animal, their commitment, even their life, to risk of their life, to invest, they live like this. That's why how about ourselves, our commitment, our determination, and also our heart, really seriously, we try to fulfill together with heavenly parents and true parents or not. So mother is sharing. So those things through the nature, we can learn more and more. And mother also are sharing those heart. So when we learn the nature, it's interesting. If you go to the website, we can learn many stories also. So let's read. So this part, sorry, I didn't show. This one mother said yesterday. Have we ever strenuously made effort like this bird for 10 days without eating or sleeping for the sake of restoring our neighbors, our tribe, or our nation? So this is really mother's sharing that. Okay, Mrs. Na, please lead.
Recently, I probably told you about the story of the monarch butterfly. With its small body, it travels 5,000 kilometers from Canada to Mexico. It does so in order to multiply. The cause it needs to fly. It was not taught how, yet it finds that place, returns to its hometown, and multiplies.
Yes, you can see this photo or video or really monarch butterfly. Even too small, really small one, but this one can travel more than 5,000 kilometers. So how much this life is suffering. And do you know, what do you think? Can they see the land where they try to move on or final destination? They could not see anything, but just they will leave from their house and go to the place. Maybe like Abraham, right? Abraham could not see where is the place God is guiding, but just Abraham followed the God's will. So this monarch butterfly we could see. And mother said, the course is needed to fly. It was not taught how, yet it finds that place, returns to its hometown and multiplies. So this is really great. So okay, please read.
Can't see.
Okay, again.
Thank you. Yeah. Human beings in this fallen world are living in a way that is less profound than this small creature, this insect. You have to stimulate people's original minds and teach them what kind of beings we are and that we must meet the true parents. They have to be reborn through true parents. Only by attaining new life in this way can they return to the state that our heavenly parent envisioned for human beings at the time of the creation. Even though the tiny insects know the way they have to go, human beings are ignorant. But you know, true parents, you are living in attendance to them. In other words, you are all wealthy people. You are not wealthy people because you have a lot of money, but because you are happy and are big-hearted. Sharing this with others should be the way you live.
Yes, thank you very much. So mother said, even though the tiny insects know the way they have to go, human beings are ignorant. So this is really sad things because of fall. So even we could not recognize someone, it's not easy to recognize God's existence or our purpose of life. But when we see the insect, we could recognize insects know their purpose of life. Even nobody teach that they have this kind of ability. And human beings ourselves should be better than those insects, but still we are not sure who is God, who is our parents, where we should go, what is our purpose of life. So this is really actually sad situation. The fall is really the sad situation. But that's why mother is talking, you know, true parents, and you are living in attendance to them. So because of true parents, we knew that. Because of true parents, we recognize that our purpose and what we should do and where we will go. So now, not only ourselves, also we should share to other brother and sisters and also our family. Okay, please read.
If you live a happy life with everything you need, the final place to go is God's kingdom in heaven. If you lived alone in heaven, you would not be happy. You would be lonely. We have to go all together. In this light, nobody else is happier than we are. Nobody else is wealthier or more deeply blessed than we are. We can share this. Yet the world does not share, right? Even though they already have something, they still want to take away from others, right? However, we share our blessings, which is why they multiply. We become wealthier, we become happier. This is all thanks to true parents.
Yes. So Mother said, if you live a happy life with everything you need, the final place to go is God's kingdom in heaven. If you live alone in heaven, you would not be happy, you would be lonely. So we are talking about the kingdom of heaven. What is really kingdom of heaven and happiness? Some Christian or some religion will talking that if I can go to kingdom of heaven, really this is the purpose and this is a happy moment. And somebody asks, so how about your parents or some children? They are in hell. Are you happy or not? Then that person say, this is no choice because they didn't believe Jesus or they could not go the right way. So if you are doing good life and you go to kingdom of heaven by yourself or alone, really that place is kingdom of heaven or a happy place or a beautiful place or not. So what is kingdom of heaven? This is not just talking about external place or external environment. Really the person who are living there, this is really the important things. So last time also we share about one story. For example, there is beautiful kingdom, a beautiful palace like Peace Palace here. But instead of human beings living in the palace, or only animal is living in the palace. So what do you think? What we call this palace? Maybe we can call this palace is the animal house, right? But if we are living in the poor house, not so much beautiful, some kind of broken, or environment is not so much gorgeous. But if the person stay there with love, with heart, or embrace together, then even poor place, but we can say this place is exactly the kingdom of heaven. That's why we are trying to enter to the kingdom of heaven. But what kind of person are we? And now True Parents is open the way and showing us to enter to the kingdom of heaven with their blessing. That's why this blessing, this God's word, and this vision and ideal, how much this is great or this is beautiful. That's why Mother is also talking about we can share our blessing and we can multiply. Then we can become wealthier, we can happier, and we can have a great, beautiful place. We can have a great, beautiful moment together. So really, Mother is sharing those beautiful about ideal vision of kingdom of heaven. So please read.
In Hawaii, you can find banyan trees. They are huge and leafy, so they provide shade in the strong sun. People can rest under their branches. This tree does not grow toward the sky, but its branches extend down to the ground and it produces numerous roots, which expand more and more horizontally, so the tree gets bigger and bigger. The branches reach down into the ground like roots to help the tree be strong. I have self-realizations when I look at the natural world our Heavenly Parent created.
Yes, Mother is talking about banyan tree. Have you seen banyan trees? There are many here in Oceania area, Australia, New Zealand, or island nations. Which nation do we have? Mother is talking about in Hawaii, right? So this is banyan tree. So this is big tree. So I prepared a photo. Can you see this one? This is the banyan trees. So really, this is big. And there is that place. That's why God's creation is beautiful. This is not only going to the sky, even, okay, again, some white line always is appearing. So this is not going to only going to the sky, also going to down as the root and create more horizontally or become bigger and bigger. That's why how Heavenly Parents creation great and really show those inspiration. So please read.
Like that tree, True Father explored wild and remote areas around the world, and he expanded his roots of love with numerous conditions of devotion. He came as a true parent and created a foundation for victory for humankind for the first time after 6,000 years. But when looking around the world as a whole, we see there is still so much more we must accomplish through our devotions and effort.
So True Mother said, like that tree, True Father explored wild and remote areas around the world, and he expanded his roots of love with numerous conditions of devotion. So when we see our father's life, mother's life, and their investment, they are almost end of the world. True Father, True Mother really invested and developed the providence, even in order to restore the hell of hell. True Father invested to the Las Vegas, right? We know the Las Vegas providence to stay there and live with them and try to embrace and love that city. So Father try to change the Sin City of Las Vegas from Sin City to what city? There is a beautiful ideal city. So Father's field or Father's investment in each area, not only just religious place, not only just political place, also even agriculture, even the art, media, or everywhere, to Father touched and gave the message and create the foundation and root of the providence. That's why Mother said, still we have to see many things to do. So based on those preparation by True Father or True Mother, we are the one who should develop more and complete and achieve the will of God. So through True Parents investment, we could see many vision. And now we are the one who inherit, and we have to complete and conclude those providence which God wish and which our True Parents wish. And we will create the kingdom of heaven and the nation of Choniguk in this world. So Mother is sharing those beautiful story today. And next, let's share about the word of Cheonsongyeon. So now Father is talking about this Cheonsongyeon word. This chapter is talking about God governs by his love. So Father said, true love began from God. So true love began from God, and everything began from God. Have you read about Worldly Wonbon? There is Worldly Wonbon is the first book, and second one is the Worldly Hassle, and third one is the Divine Principle, the exposition. So first one, Worldly Wonbon, True Father wrote directly by himself. This is the Worldly Wonbon. And second one and third one was written by first president Hyowon Yu. So Mrs. Sakilja's husband, right? Maybe you know the Reverend Hyowon Yu. So when we read this one, the starting word is totally different. We know the divine principle. Divine principle say in the first sentence, everyone is struggling to attain happiness and avoid misfortune. Do you remember this word? So this one we are learning, and this one we are reading, and even we are teaching. But what can we recognize? Everyone is struggling to attain happiness and avoid misfortune. This is totally talking, and this who is the object? Who is the objective? This is talking about the fallen peoples. So this divine principle target object is the fallen human beings. That's why everyone is struggling to attain happiness and avoid misfortune. You are sin. You have an original sin. That's why we have an original sin, and we have a conflict inside the mind. That's why we are always struggling. how we can become happy, how we can avoid misfortune. This is the first sentence of divine principle. But when we read the worldly Wonbon, the first book which True Father wrote, is saying, this is Korean word, 태초는 즉 하나이시다. 이 하나가 즉 태초의 근본이다. 이 근본이 즉 하나님이시다. So this is Korean word. If I will say in English, this is that the beginning is one. This one is the root of the beginning. The root of this is God. So there, if we read the worldly Wonbon, there is simple and telling that the beginning is one. This one is the root of the beginning, and the root of this is God. Directly, Father is mentioning about God. And if we read the worldly Wonbon, I read before, but little bit difficult. I could not catch all the picture yet. But when we read the worldly Wonbon, even Father already mentioning about Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother at that moment. In 1951, 1952, talking about Heavenly Parents, even talking about begotten daughter, right? That's why this first book, how really those essence would be there. I'm not sure there is English translation or not, but really Father is explaining about really the original status and sharing to the message to toward the original people. That's why Father is giving this message. The beginning is one. This one is the root of the beginning. The root of this is God. Explaining, sharing who is God, who is the starting point, and what is the existence of our beginning point. And this is God. So really, can we recognize totally different point, the first book and now divine principle. So we are now reading the Cheonsongyong word or 8 great textbooks. Actually, those words is supporting more, which True Father could not share during divine principle time period. So that's why Father is mentioning and Mother is mentioning. We have to read not only divine principle, we have to read the 8 great textbooks and this Cheonsongyong, Pyeongphagyeon, Champumgyeon, and everything. We have to read that before going to the spiritual world. So how many big books do we have? More than 1,000 books in Korean actually. But that's why Mother is preparing the 3 special books. So we will read again. And if we can, we have to read also another book until 1,000 books. I'm not sure how many books we can complete before going to the spiritual world. So anyway, True Father is sharing the many words to us. So we have to read and we have to learn that. So please read this.
If there were no God, living on earth would be no fun. What do you want to see with your eyes? You want to see good things. When you go to a movie, you want to see a good movie, not a bad one. You want it to move you and inspire you. You also want to hear good things. You do not want to hear bad things. Among all good sounds, you want to hear the best. People want to see, hear, smell, and touch the best of everything. What is the best thing of all? It is love. Then who is the owner of love? Who is the King of Kings of love? It is God who created heaven and earth.
Yes, thank you very much. So this is God's ideal. This is God's creation, and this is God's plan. So meeting with God and live together with God and spend time together with God, share the love together with God. How much this moment become the beautiful or great point. When we spend time, we stay together with our physical father and physical mother, we could feel the peaceful and comfortable moment. So that much God already prepared most beautiful place, most inspiring place for us. This is true love, and this is really God. That's why how we can meet together with God. This is really message about true love. This is really the nature of God. So today we share about through mother's message and through father's Cheonsongyong word. So through God's word can guide our spirit directly. That's why how often and how many we read the word of God, then depends on our heart, depends on our situation. God will give the right message or right inspiration and also right direction. That's why Hoon Dok reading and reading many God's word, this is really important. So through Hoon Dok Hae or through our morning devotion, we sure we can gather again. We put our Cheonson and we can create a great spiritual foundation, and surely we can fulfill God's will and God's vision together with our all brothers and sisters in our nation and our region of Oceania. So thank you for everyone to join every day. Let's put our heart, share our blessing, and let's have a great moment. Thank you very much once again. 감사합니다.
감사합니다. Thank you, Reverend Hutaka, for always sharing with us. And many people made comments in the chat today after your initial comment about what people were sharing. It's always good to listen and so that we always come up with the right balance of what we share and do. The statement that struck me today was stimulate our original mind. And so I was reflecting as we're reading all of the different ways to stimulate our original mind. And basically when we are stimulated, then we want to, or I certainly want to do something. I want to engage it more, or I want to share it. And so this stimulation is two ways. Obviously, stimulate is we receiving something that excites us or inspires us, or sometimes even we go, ooh, that's, but we take notice of it, and at the same time, we can stimulate others by how we express or how we think or what we do or what we model. And so I was just reflecting that it really incorporates the experience and sharing, and that's stimulate the original mind, because the original mind is our real connection with you. So I was just reflecting about how we stimulate our original mind, and this Hoon Dok is an example of stimulating our original mind. It really is a way for us to get inspired, because I'm sure many days we come and we're not sure what we're going to receive, and as we read and discuss, then get inspired, and then we're stimulated. And about that banyan tree, in Australia, it's called the Moreton Bay fig. It's also known as the Australian banyan, and up in Queensland there's so many Moreton Bay figs. They're huge, and there's one park that we used to go to, and there's so many Moreton Bay figs, and the roots are coming to the ground, that they actually created a tree walk, so you can climb up into the tree and go from tree to tree along the roots. It's quite the massive trees, these Moreton Bay figs. That they can take up a whole field. Huge. So when I saw that photo of the banyan, I thought, oh, it's a Moreton Bay fig. So that also stimulated my original mind, because seeing creation in all its glory really makes me feel happy and connected, and it really stimulates. So this word stimulation, stimulate original mind. I also think that if we can really master the technique of stimulation, then we'll be really successful in witnessing, because once we touch people's original minds and stimulate it, then they want to know more, they want to receive more, and also share more. So that's some of my thoughts this morning, just open it up to others. So thank you. Yes, Greg, go ahead.
Can I just share?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, just following up from what Mother was saying about the long-billed curlew. There is a just near here in Olympic Park, there's like a bird refuge, and it's a place where many migrating birds go. Reiko and I go there as much as we can. And my parents were both bird watchers, and we inherited their binoculars. So we love bird watching, like Kim. And I just want to show you one bird. This one here. Yeah, this one. This is what this is called a bar-tailed godwit. It's similar looking to that long-billed curlew, which Mother was talking about, but you see that its bill goes upwards and not downwards. But it's it must be similar, but it's a different species. But they come to this water refuge that we go to, and they also migrate from Siberia and Alaska to Australia and back, and they come to this place. So yeah, that's also an amazing thing, but it's a little bit different species, but that's actually here. So anybody who's living in Sydney, if you really want to see these amazing birds, they're not big, but they fly these incredible distances from Siberia and Alaska right down to the Sydney Olympic Park. Anyway, just another point of interest. Yeah, that migratory birds, you see, Sydney Olympic Park, migratory shorebirds, all coming across here, even to New Zealand. Yeah, like this. Yeah. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. Yes, Kim, go ahead.
I don't want to start a birdwatching discussion. I'm very, very new to it. Of course, I've had a lot of interest over the years in just passing, but you realize how people, we protect every individual, don't we? We go to great lengths to value everyone, but in nature, you know, those big migrations, so many birds die actually, and they also become food for other things and get recycled and so forth. And I remember being off the coast fishing and having shearwaters. They migrate as well all the way down Tasmania, but and onto the, you would know them on the mutton birds, we would generally call them. They're not mutton birds of the Bass Strait and Tasmania, but yeah, that they were so hungry that when we were fishing, they were all around the boat, and they would swim down to get the bait as we dropped the lines down into the water, and then they'd get caught, and we'd pull them up, we let them off, and they'd immediately go back down to get the bait. It was sort of, so thousands die on their way, and part of that is because their habitats have been so decimated. I believe I mentioned in the notes around China, so much of the wetlands have been and the mudflats have been transformed into industrial areas and so forth. And so we have to be really wary of that. They want to do something similar here in Queensland. We've been fighting for a long time at one particular bay in it's a Ramsar wetland, but they want to build 3,000 units over the top of it, and which, you know, all of these migratory birds depend so much on what other people who are not in the know, who don't have sensitivity, just see as muddy areas, but they're so vital, and so we really have to be at the forefront of protecting and supporting those people that are trying to protect wetlands and habitats, because all of those things will go away as if we don't keep control over it. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Yes, Randall, go ahead.
All these valuable species that are around, and we want to protect. One of the species is called a storytelling animal, and it's that gives the value to this creature, and that's the elders. We like to hear from the elders of all these different experiences. So yeah, for example, with Ayla and myself, we've got experiences from Mexico. I'm not sure how many people have experiences with Mexico, and so it's the early church. I was there from 78 through to 82, and then Ayla was there from 82 onwards, and so different things. It's like, wow, there's a wealth of knowledge that are here on the screens in front of us with the different members that are here, and to be able to express that, and to be able to tap back into it and go back and say, oh, I want to check Penny's testimony or something like that. And it's great to be able to see that on these type of things. With one thing that I shared was the and that Reverend Chiyutaka mentioned was reading the 8 great texts, and yeah, it's something we mean to get into, and have to do it sometime and all the rest. And at one stage, Father in I think it was 2010 asked for members to go over to Korea, leaders, and the Korean leaders said, oh, it'll just be for 40 days. Actually, they were told that it was for 120 days, but they didn't want to say that to us. They wanted to try and convince Father to keep it down to just 40 days. But the purpose was to actually read the 8 great texts. And we took 120 days to do it. I mean, we also did witnessing and, handing out Father's autobiography to Koreans, and for the foreigners to be able to do that to church leaders and things like this. It was, the Koreans thought that was a great novelty. But yeah, you may see the Ark, this box that's in the prayer rooms in Sydney and Melbourne, and that is actually the wealth of knowledge of the 8 great texts right there, and the actual books that were part of those arcs are just yeah, you can read them if you read Korean, but put them back inside the ark. Keep it unique, respect the integrity of that those contents. I think there was a folder of Father's speeches that was missing from the Sydney one at one stage. I'm not sure if it worked its way back there. But Father gave a copy for an ark for the host church of each of the participants. That was of the 600 participants that were there for the 120 days, and also an ark for each of the participants for their own home as well. So if there were 30 people from one church, they got one ark for their church. And with Oceania, then it was Reverend Ito, Kenji, Mika, and myself that were there for the full 120 days, and we were able to get arcs for our church as well. So yeah, there's a wealth of knowledge. There's and you know, hearing from you guys, the elders, this is, you know, something really valuable as well. So sorry, I've gone over time. Thank you.
Thank you. And also hearing from you, Randall, you're an elder. So, okay, Jeff, go ahead. I need to unmute, sorry.
Thanks, John. Yeah, segueing back into the birds, as you know, New Zealand was a bird island. There were no animals, and just hundreds of different types of birds. They're the largest bird in the world, I think, in recent history. Anyway, the moa was about 3 meters tall, bigger than the emu and the ostrich. Anyway, when I grew up, I grew up beside a lake, and so every May we would go duck shooting. So this is a little bit the other side of the story, but roast duck, I tell you, was one of my favorite foods, cooked with spices by my mother. Unless you haven't eaten a roast duck, you haven't lived. Anyway, yeah, yeah, it's just fascinating. One thing I'd like to say is the amazing thing when I came to Australia was the birds in Australia, they're very colorful, parrots and all those things, but it sort of is opposite to the dusty, sort of dry country that you've got. You've got all these beautiful bright birds, but in New Zealand, we don't have those bright birds. You know, we have the kiwi and all these dark tuis and things, you know. Really sort of such a contrast, you know, amazing God's creation, the way he does things here. Thank you.
Yeah, so true. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. And thank you, everyone. It's actually that time for us now to offer our unison prayer. So I'll just share the screen. And, let's pray together. Thank you. Adieu, adieu, adieu. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for seeing you each morning, and see you again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.
God bless everyone. Have a lovely day.
Barbara's tuning her binoculars.
Thank you, Reverend Utaka.
Thank you. Everyone.
Hugs.
Thank you. Love the baby.
Yep.
Have a blessed day.
Bye.